So you all get the idea of the hierarchy, that the French society was divided into three main estates: the first, the second, and the third. The first and the second estates combined together had a special name. What was it?
Privileged.
Yes, the privileged estates. And they were called privileged estates because
They didn't pay taxes.
they didn't pay taxes. So the third estate was not privileged. The first estate was made up of whom? Grade 12.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Roman Catholic Church, which made up what percent?
1%.
1%. Okay, and they owned how many percent of the land?
10%.
10%. Okay, the second, no, النوبلز they owned 20. Always يعني related with in the Roman Catholic Church 1%, but they own 10%. You add a zero. The second estate is made up of whom?
Rich nobles.
Rich nobles. And what was their percentage?
2%.
2%. Type. What percentage of land did they own? If it's
20%.
20.
then they own 20. Yes. Now, we reached yesterday that the third estate made up how many percent of the people?
97%.
97.
97%. Okay, which made up in actual life how many million?
25 million.
25 million.
25 million. So this is where we stopped, that the third estate was 97% of the people, which is the majority of the people, and they were 25 million person. Now we said that the third estate is divided into three levels. The third estate is divided into three groups. They're actually not levels. Okay, they're three groups. The first group is the bourgeoisie. Okay, this is how you write it because the spelling is counted. Can you see the cursor?
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about the third estate. So we're dividing France into three levels. Imagine the pyramid, and we're dividing the pyramid into three levels. We're done with the first two levels, which is the peak and the second highest part of the peak. Now this is the third level, which is the high bottom level, and this bottom level is divided into three subgroups. These three subgroups are divided according to education and according to jobs. The first group under the third estate is known as the bourgeoisie. Okay, bourgeoisie in French means middle class. So they were the middle class of the French people. Give me a second. So we said that the bourgeoisie are known as the middle class, or bourgeoisie means the middle class. Which people? We said that the Roman Catholic Church was the first and the nobles were the second. So who were the bourgeoisie? Which people? They were the bankers, the factory owners, the merchants, the artisans, and the professionals, the people who had jobs. Okay, they were well educated, they paid very high levels of taxes from their income, and they believed in the Enlightenment ideas that started spreading in Europe and in liberty and equality. So far, the first group of the three levels, do you understand it?
Yes.
Grade 12, is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The second group, still in the third estate, was a little bit lower. They were known as the workers. They were the poor class. These were the people who worked by their hands. They were laborers, they were servants, they were apprentices, and they were tradespeople who carry things from one place to the other. So workers were people who worked with their hands. By working with their hands means that they're not educated and they do not work in high places. Okay? So these workers, not all of them were educated, and if they were educated, then they did not reach the highest education of the university. They were paid very low wages, and the word wages here encounters for the word salary. So they were paid very low wages, and they still had to pay a lot of taxes. So this is why they were frequently out of work. They could not continue in the same job because sometimes the people did not need them. They did not need them to carry boxes every day. They did not need them to serve them in their houses every day or to clean the houses every day. So they were frequently out of work. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The third group, still in the third estate, they are the peasants. These people, they got very low income, and half of their income they had to pay it to taxes to the church, and they still had to pay money to the nobles because the nobles own the land, remember? So these peasants or farmers, they work on the land, but in return for money, just like the idea of rent. They rent the farm. So they rent the farm, and at the end of the season, either they pay in money or they pay in products or crops that they harvest. The third
Um,
group, yes,
so the third group was they were only
farmers only, the peasants. Yes,
only farmers?
yes.
Oh, okay.
They were poorer than the poorest class. Why? Because even though the workers were frequently out of work and they paid low wages, but whatever income they get after they pay the taxes and they pay the church, that's it. Whatever money is left, they use it. The peasants were, or the farmers were even worse. After they pay the taxes, after they pay the money to the church, they still had to pay dues or rent to the nobles because they're using the nobles' land. Do you understand?
Yes.
The peasants themselves, this group only, the third group only, was 21 million of the total of the 25 million in the third estate. So the 4 million left are divided between the bourgeoisie and the workers. Do you understand? Grade 12, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I need you to write this down in your notebook. Remember yesterday we divided the third class or the third estate into 3 groups. Some of you wrote the titles yesterday. I need you to continue. And those of you who did not write the names yesterday, I need you to write down under the 3 empty arrows that we left yesterday, bourgeoisie, workers, and peasants. These are the 3 groups in the same order because they are of order of education and wealth. Under the bourgeoisie, you need to tell me who are the people included in this group. What do they work? Under the workers, you're going to say, what do they work? And under the peasants, you will say, what do they do? Is it clear?
لا.
Okay. I just explained the third estate, right?
ثيرست ايوه ماشي ماشي اكمل بقى على ثيرد ستيت اللي غابوش امبارح.
Divide them, yes. The ones that we left empty, the 3 arrows. You have the third estate paragraph in front of you, along with what I said, to copy it down. But you don't have the whole session. You only have 10 minutes.
Yes, I am done.
أنا بعته لحضرتك.
Did you add the information which is the
ما شاء الله.
jobs? Because yesterday you only wrote the titles. Did you add that the bourgeoisie, what do they work? And where do they pay their money? And the workers, what do they work? And where did you add all the details?
يس ممكن حضرتك تشوفيه.
Yes, send it please. If you're done, send it.
أيوة I sent it on messenger.
Oh, okay, let me check. You have exactly 10 minutes from now. Type. So we divided France's hierarchy into 3 general estates, and the third estate was divided into 3 subgroups. Now, we said that the third group, the peasants, they were the poorest and they had the worst life ever. Now, let me see. Now, this was one main reason behind, or a trigger behind, the French Revolution. There are certain factors, that's the first word. There are certain reasons, that's the second word. There are certain triggers, that's the third word. So these are 3 words that I can use for the same question. Factors, reasons, triggers for the French Revolution. There are a lot of things that happened that was the reason behind why did the people start to revolt. Okay? The base was that the people paid a lot of taxes.
بس منى وحضرتك ما قلتيش اسمي ليه؟
عشان في ايه؟ For the people who sent?
أنا بعته من زمان جدا.
I have it, but I still didn't check it. So I said I'm gonna check it after the session.
ماشي.
Okay? ماشي.
ماشي
So we said
شكرا.
that the basic, the one and only main reason, apart from the other reasons that I'm going to explain, was the lifestyle, the money, that the privileged estate did not pay taxes and they owned a lot of parts in the country. They had all the businesses and the rest were struggling to live and to pay taxes for the nobles and the church. This is one main reason. We're not going to consider it. Apart from this, there are 3 reasons or 3 factors or 3 triggers. Okay? The first one was a social reason. Please write the title: Reasons, Factors, Triggers for the Revolution. Quickly, before the session stops. Did you all write it down? Title only in the middle of
Yes.
the page. Reasons dash factors dash triggers for the revolution. Okay? Did you all write it down?
Miss reasons ايه؟
Reasons أو triggers أو factors. These are the 3 words that they mean the same thing. And
Okay.
then under the title, I need
Miss,
you
I
to
can't hear the third word. Can you say it again?
factors,
Oh, factors, sorry.
reasons, triggers. Okay? So the title is going to be here. Yes, and then under the title, you're going to draw 3 different parts. Please make them as far apart as you can. This is your whole page. One on the very right, one on the very left, and one on the middle. Clear?
Okay.
Okay. Under the first arrow,
Yes, draw ايه?
do you see the screen?
Yes.
You need to draw a 3 diagram, 3 branches, one to the very right, one to the very left, and one in the middle.
Okay.
Okay? The reasons are divided into 3 categories, 3 main categories. Okay? The first one, here, write down social.
مس ممكن برضه على النوتس ولا لا؟
يعني ايه؟
انا يعني عمال بكتب على النوتس، ينفع ولا
ماشي. As long as you
حرام؟
have it all in one place,
يس
that's it. I don't care. So the first
مس حضرتك قلت
general
reasons of factors وايه؟
triggers.
triggers.
So the first one is social. The second one is economic.
Miss Kiki is in the waiting room.
He is in the waiting room. Okay. The session is about to end. He can see the session on YouTube and then he can join us with the second session. Like, my whole diagram is messed up. Let me erase it. So you have the tree diagram, and then you have 3 branches. The first one is social, the second one is economic, and the third one is political. Okay?
Okay.
Did you all write it down?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the first reasons or the first branch were social reasons. What were the social reasons? They were the Enlightenment ideas. The people, the French people, please mute your mics, please. Grade 12,
Yes.
whoever has the mic open, please mute it. Okay, thank you. Now, the first social part or the social reasons behind the revolution were the Enlightenment ideas. The people were inspired by the Enlightenment ideas itself of freedom and equality. They were inspired by the American Revolution, that certain people somewhere in the world actually fought for their freedom and they got it. So they demanded liberty, equality, and fraternity, which is the slogan for the French Revolution. It's said in French terms. I'm not really good in French. You can either ask Miss Hiba or you can search it and find it up. So the slogan later on became, or the demands, their demands became later on the slogan for the revolution, which is they demanded liberty, equality, and fraternity.
Miss,
Yes.
we write this under social?
I'll just explain, and then in the second session, I'll tell you what to write under each and every branch. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, another social reason was that there was a very strong resentment or hatred among the lower class to the 2 higher estates, the rich nobles and the Roman Catholic Church. They started hating them because they were struggling to live and they couldn't live well, while meanwhile, the rich nobles and the Roman Catholic Church live the wealthiest, luxurious lives they can ever have. The third social reason is that they had new ideas about the government, new division of hierarchy, new division of government, not only the Roman Catholic Church. So these were the social ideas that, or the social reasons that led to the revolution. The Enlightenment ideas, the American Revolution, the resentment, and the new ideas about the government. So under the social part or section, write 1, 2, 3, 4 under each other so we can fill them later on. Clear?
مس نكتب ايه مش فاهمة.
Just write numbers 1, 2, 3,
إيه؟
4.
تحت ايه تحت ايه؟
What is social? We're talking about the social reasons. Would you please focus? I don't have
مش
to.
هما 3؟
هما 3 main: social, economic, and political.
لا لا قصدي تحت السوشيال، مش احنا لسه قايلين 3؟
في الانلايتمنت ideas, الامريكان ريفولوشن،
ايوه
الريزنتمنت، والنيو ideas about the government.
هي الامريكان ريفولوشن دي لوحدها.
عشان غير الانلايتمنت. Okay,
ماشي
so
اوكي
please number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we will fill them later. Clear?
ماشي.
I'll disconnect the session now and then we'll join the other session so I can continue explaining. Okay?
مس
join امتى؟
No, right now.
اوكي.
Okay. Can you keep it till the session? يعني I'll disconnect now because we have 1 minute, and then I'll join again. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.